Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we have a Getting Started with Path to Glory video for you, talking about the cities of Sigmar and indeed the Phoenicium sub-faction. In this video, we're going to take you through and talk about exactly what we get with a Phoenicium army for cities of Sigmar, what's special about it, and then we'll go through the 5 major steps of creating a Path to Glory warband, giving you some ideas on settlements and all that sort of stuff that you should be picking to start off with this force, and then we'll go into units we should start off to grab, units we can look to expand our force with later, and finally a little sample army list at the end of the video for you to use as some inspiration for your starting warband roster. That warband will also be a 600 point Vanguard sized roster. Now, with that said, we are cities of Sigmar, so that means we're going to get all the cool things like General, Adjutant, Honoured Retinue, all of that. Though with how and where some of our benefits come, it maybe isn't going to get the most out of a lot of those rules. Now, the big cool thing is we get a lot of bonuses on death for the sub-faction that is the Phoenicium. So, the first one is Vengeful Revenants, where we add 1 to hit and wound rolls for attacks made by melee weapons with friendly Phoenicium units if another unit's destroyed in the same phase. So, this lends itself really well to having some really solid survivable units and also some really easy killable chaff units. That's really how the army wants to be. You want to have these martyrs that get sacrificed, and the better units get even better. We then also get to add 1 to the wounds characteristic of all our phoenixes on the table, which is nice. And then we've got the Living Idols command ability, which can be used by our phoenix mounted heroes. And they get to use it, and you can do fight upon death for all models within 12 inch of their heroes. So some really cool stuff. We can also get like extra attacks out. So you can see the sort of combo that works here is potentially you could have that off. Send in your unit that's supposed to die. They then get killed, but get to fight back. Even if their attacks are worthless, they still get to fight, which is nice with this command ability. And then you're going to get the bonuses on your better units to then fight, which is really, really cool. Now, on top of that, that pretty much is what we get. We get access to some other cool things with some of the command abilities and command traits and stuff like that. But really, that's what the army is all about. So let's have a look at our little Path to Glory warbands and see how we can build it up and go through the 5 steps. And so, step 1 is to choose your faction and realm. Now, obviously, when you pick a faction, you must pick a sub-faction as well. This sub-faction may not change throughout the course of the campaign. Indeed, this time we're going to go with Phoenicium. Realm-wise, cities is interesting because all the cities are set in a realm, so Gairan is set as our realm for the city. The realm here is really just a great way to, for me, this is the best thing to consider with your realm. How do I want to base the army? And it can start that narrative for you. Where in Gairan, so are we going to be, you know, like a luscious forest? Are we going to be a Nurgle tainted part of Gairan? Whatever it is, the realm could really start to dictate how you're doing your basing and sort of the theme and the story for your army. Now, step 2 is choosing your starting size and starting territories. Now, for the purposes of this, we're looking to get people into the game, so we're going to be doing Vanguard. This is 600 points. This is a low scale of Path to Glory. Now, in this, you get a unit limit for all your starting sizes. At this, it's 6 units, so you cannot have more than 6 units in your army. And then you get 1 starting territory and 5 starting glory points. That starting territory can be a multiple different options. However, I think small settlement is great for most cities of Sigmar sub-factions, generally because we've got units that we want to be getting more models in. So it's just great to have it there, giving us an extra reinforced unit option. Now, step 3 is our order of battle. In this, you have a maximum number of units you can see in your army, and this sort of order of battle is your actual army list, that your group of models that you can pick units from. Now, with your warband roster, you can have a maximum of 3 heroes, and then you can have 1 of each monster, war machine, wizard, priest, reinforced unit, or allied unit. And thanks to our small settlement, we're going to be able to have 2 reinforced units, which is really cool. Step 4, we go through our core enhancements. This is pretty much picking all the basic sort of enhancements you can have through your army. Your first spell, your first command trait, your first prayer, all that sort of stuff. That's what's considered core enhancements. If you ever are playing a sub-faction that has access to, say, give all your monsters a mount trait, that is considered a core enhancement. If you would get it normally, that's a core enhancement. Step 5 is picking our first quest, and I think Defend Your Realm is a really cool one for the Phoenicium. There's not a lot of really good ones straight out the gates for them. I think Defend Your Realm will just get you some good glory points to get you started on your way. You get this by at the end of each Path to Glory battle, you add 1 quest point to the progress section of this quest log for each friendly unit held within your own territory. In addition, at the end of each Path to Glory battle, you can spend 1 glory point to gain 1 additional quest point. And once you've gained 3 or more of these quest points, you complete this quest. When you complete this quest, you gain 10 glory points. Solid little starter quest there for your warband. Now, this is pretty cool because, you know, you've got, with what we're looking at, you've got potential units that are probably going to be on the more defensive end of the spectrum, or at least fast enough to get back in your territory at the end of the game. Looking where to begin for units, and well, with the fact that we get benefits from our Phoenixes being the general, I think really that's where you want to go. So we're going to take a look at the Anointeds on both the Frostheart and the Flamespire Phoenix to begin with. Now, if we go with the Frostheart Phoenix, the cool benefits we get from this model is we get the Attuned to Magic. Now, we get this with both Phoenixes, actually, where we get to add 1 to our save rolls for attacks that targets model while it's imbued by magical energy, and this works if a friendly hero that's a wizard casts a spell within 12 inch, you get to put the bonus on your Phoenix. Now, the Frostheart has Blizzard Aura. You subtract 1 from wound rolls made from melee weapons that attack this model. The range of the aura is on its profile. It sort of degrades as the Phoenix gets more damage, and actually starts in a 9-inch range, which is pretty solid. Witness of Destiny is a rule we get for all our Phoenix Guard style heroes and units, and that's just a straight 4-up ward, which is absolutely amazing. It saves so much time on an artifact. It's just really, really solid. Captain of the Phoenix Guard is a command trait that carries over for both models as well, and you can use this from one of your friendly Frostheart units or your Flamespire units, and it affects all Phoenix Temple units held within 12 inches of them can reroll wound rolls. Really, really nice. Now, the difference here between this and the Flamespire Phoenix is the Flamespire Phoenix gets more attacks on the profiles as well. So your Frostheart has 3s, Ren 1 damage 2 and starts with 8 attacks, while you only get 6 attacks with the Flaming Talons. They're 4-3, Ren 1 damage 2. So not quite as deadly as the Ice Cold Talons. Now, you get the Phoenix Reborn, where if this model's slain on a 1-3, it's actually slain. On a 4-6, it gets back up, and all wounds allocated to it heals and gets back up at full health. The Flamespire Phoenix is amazing like that, but you know, it's a 50-50 chance it doesn't. Now, Wake of Fire is a cool rule as well, where if you made a normal move with this model, you can choose a unit that you've moved over. On a 2+, that unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the Wake of Fire, which at full strength is 5, but it can go down to 1 when it gets damaged. Looking at units, Phoenix Guard, well, if we're going to have a Frostheart Phoenix, we might as well take the best unit they take alongside them, and that is Phoenix Guard. 4-up ward base, 2 attacks each with a 2-inch range, 3-3 Ren 1 damage 1. This is a really solid unit. A 4-up base save as well, and also they don't take battle shock tests if they're within 12 inch of a Phoenix Temple hero. This is just a really, really solid unit all round. Absolutely everything about them is good. Now, we're looking for a unit that we can use to sacrifice. Now, there are some options, but normally you would probably say choose something like Aether Wings that are really cheap and expendable. Well, we don't have enough units in our army generally at this point to be using our Stormcast Eternal slots for that. In fact, I recommend checking out Flagellants. They're a human unit we have access to, and they're not too shabby. So they're cheap at 80 points per unit, which is really, really nice. And they're going to give us access to some other cool rules. First of all, they've got the Glorious Miters, where they add 1 to the attack characteristic if any models in the unit have been slain. So if we don't end up dying and getting the benefit, this Flagellant's going to be better. They also add 2 attacks to the characteristic instead of 1 if 1 or 5 or more models have been slain. Fanatical Fury means they get to add 1 to hit and wound rolls if they charge, putting them to 4s and 3s. And Reckless Abandon, each time a model from this unit flees, you can pick one enemy unit within 6 inch, and on 4-up they suffer a mortal wound. No save of them means we're not ever protecting them. 2 attacks at 5s and 4s, movement 6, you know, they're just a good sacrificial unit that has some cool potential to do some little bits of damage here and there. Looking into other units to expand into, the Anointed on foot is obviously another option. Now, you actually get this model if you choose to build one of the Phoenixes unmounted. Now, the Anointed on foot, well, he's just a really cheap hero to put around the buff. He's going to do a lot of the stuff like the Captain of the Phoenix Guard with his rerolls to wound. He's also got a 4-up ward. He's just a solid hero to have around on foot, so your Phoenixes and don't need to be everywhere at once. And also, he's a lot cheaper. Now, if you're wanting to make a Phoenix on light, the Free Good General on Griffin is actually a solid unit. He's got a decent attack profile, and with the new mount traits available in the White Dwarf that came along, thanks to all of these rules as well that we're getting for Path to Glory for Cities of Sigmar in particular, we're going to actually get to make him a, I guess, Phoenix Light. Also, issue 470 for the Cities of Sigmar White Dwarf rules. Now, alongside him, we want maybe an elite unit to fight alongside him, and that is definitely Great Swords. And a unit we can use as a sort of sacrificial unit is a Free Good Guard. Now, talking about Great Swords, they do mortal wounds when they go and attack in combat. If they roll a 6 to hit, they do a mortal wound, and they also add 1 to their hit rolls if they're within range, 18-inch range, of Free Guild heroes. Now, talking about Free Good Guard, normally I always suggest Sword and Board as the most defensive option, but I actually think Halberds are a decent option in small 10-man units of these. You send them in to die. 4s and 3s, range 1, damage 1. It's not too shabby. And they're going to get better as to hit if they can get more models in their unit. So they're not a bad unit to have as a little sacrificial. They're cheap as well. Now, looking at a little sample army list we've put together here, this is very light on models, mostly because we've got that big old Phoenix in there to start our army off with. Now, we've gone for Hold the Line. 10 Phoenix Guard actually can be hard to remove, so it's really just a toss-up of the Phoenix Guard hard to remove, or is the Frost Heart harder to remove? And it could be a little bit of both. You could easily go for, just Beastmaster, but that does put more of a target on your Frost Heart, which, you might not always want to. Deflecting some of the damage down onto Phoenix Guard instead of allowing your Frost Heart to go do the damage is a solid strategy. Inspired for the command for the Triumph here with a cut 30 points to spare under the 600 is pretty solid. Now, Anointed, we've gone for him as our general. He's got the Seeker of Vengeance. This is if models are destroyed around him. He adds 1 to his attacks, however, if it's 5 more models, so if those flagellants all die in a turn, or most of them die, he's going to get to add 3 to his attacks characteristic, which is pretty solid. We then are going to give him the Amber Armor as well, which is going to make him ignore range 1, so further just giving him more a defensive benefit. 10 Phoenix Guard, 10 Flagellants, round out the army in a 1-drop force that's wrapped up in a battle regiment, 32 wounds and 1 drop. This is extremely light on bodies, no doubt about it. But this could be a really fun start to a force. You've got a Phoenix right from the get-go. At 600 points, that Phoenix is going to be super hard for your opponent to remove. Well, that's it for the video. We hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little fine community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel more, you can do so by following the links to either our Patreon or YouTube members down in the description of the video. It goes a massive way to helping the channel continue to produce the content that it does. We'd like to give a special shout out to all our patrons and YouTube members, so a special thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And a shout out to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lochloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, and Ariana Edwards. Finally, a last special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel that you see pictured here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work on our Discord server for us. Thank you both, you do amazing work. That's it though. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.